2010 to 2020, we want to ask you how Montreal has changed over the decade from 2010 to 2020. What's changed about the city fundamentally or superficially? How have you changed as a Montrealer? Have a think about it and send us a text message, 514-566-9066. We've got some awesome folks right throughout the program who are going to help us to think about this very thing. For me, I was walking around the neighborhood yesterday, and as a radio host, you are pretty anonymous, or so you think. And then when something is going on, like me having my last show, there was a fella out yesterday walking his dog and started staring at me. And you know when you're in that when they start looking at you, it's because they've recognized you. And he said to me, "Oh, congratulations on your retirement." And I said to him, I'm a little sensitive about the word retirement. And he said, I'm not. I think he was talking about him. I think
yes.
he was retired. But it's a moving on. I don't see it as a retirement, but it's certainly a point of reflection. Mm-hmm. So in the next 2.5 hours, we will draft in some of my favorite folks from over the years that I've spoken to help us reflect. And Abisara Machold is the owner of Inheritance Salon in the southwest of Montreal. And Abisara welcomed us into her salon for an entire remote broadcast of Daybreak a few years back. If you're a keen listener, you'll remember. And it's a natural hair salon, and Abisara is live with us this morning. Abisara, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. I'm so happy to be here.
And it's nice to talk to you, nice to hear your voice. Listen, you arrived in the city, a little over 10 years ago, yeah?
Exactly, 11 years ago.
What's changed? Has anything changed? What's your view?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I don't have a comparison, so I can't really compare how the city was 20 years ago. But definitely in those last 11 years have been super intense. The city became my home. I think a lot of things have changed, but I mean, it's because my situation has also changed. I was a complete newbie. I didn't really speak French. I learned French. I created a business, created a team of 21 people. So a lot has changed actually my personal life in contact with the city. But definitely there are some epic moments, I think, of Montreal. And things that I got rather worried about was, for example, the chart of value. That was a quick moment where I was like, okay, will I stay? Will I go? What do I do?
You felt it that deeply.
Yeah, I really did. It was I think because coming from Europe where everything went kind of into a right-wing direction, for me, Canada was this haven of multiculturalism and like just acceptance of a lot of people, backgrounds, religions, and values, so to speak. So I think when that came up to be a real topic, it kind of shocked me. And the same thing was with the whole pasta scandal and the Bill 101. I think it was wow. That those were a few moments where I realized, okay, this is special. And then I would say gentrification. I live. My business is in St. Henry, Little Burgundy, and what I've seen over the years has been a massive wave of gentrification.
It's really changed in your neighborhood, hasn't it?
Absolutely, from a kind of rundown place to a complete hipsterville, I would say right now. And real estate prices obviously have changed tremendously. My rent has more than doubled in the last 5 years only.
I'm interested, Abisara, those debates that stressed you and made you question your move. At what level were those happening? Because at the same time, at a very local level, a community level, mm-hmm. You're starting a new business. It's a business with a social mission at its heart as well, trying to connect people to treating their hair naturally, to not punishing their hair, to kind of self-love, which is an idea that I think has been building over the last 10 years. And I'm wondering whether at the local level, you were sheltered from some of those cross currents.
Absolutely, Meg. I think Inheritance has been a little bubble for me. It's kind of a safe haven, as you say, for people of all kind of ethnic backgrounds, but definitely for the Black community trying to claim their natural beauty. So the whole space was created because I felt we needed that as Black people. I came here and I realized, oof, the situation is almost as bad as in Berlin. I lived in Berlin before. I can't get any natural hair products with non-toxic ingredients. So I created this space where you can talk about your hair, we can try our products, and obviously you can get your hair done as well. So there's a whole salon in there. And in that little bubble, I have employees from every part of the Black diaspora. So we definitely created a French, English, I'm German speaking, and I even had German speaking people, people who are Afro-German as well at one point employed. So we created this little safe bubble that was so apart from the rest of Montreal, or is somehow also typical for Montreal, because I think Montreal has those little nooks.
Yeah.
So for me, Montreal is very much a city where, despite whatever is going on outside, I am still able to create that safety, and that's what I love about the city, and that's why I was able to grow roots here.
And you're staying for now.
Oh yes, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Sarah, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best.
I wish you all the best in a huge new chapter full of excitement and joy. Thanks to come for you.
Thank you. Sarah, I hope our paths cross again. She's the owner of Inheritance Salon in St. Henry. Live to Paul Carniello, singer-songwriter based in NDG, who performs in both languages and as well has been part of one of our remote broadcasts in NDG. Paul, good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well, thanks very much. What do you think's changed about our city and your community in the last 10 years?
Well, I was listening, and I definitely will agree that there's been a lot of gentrification in the last little while. It even affects NDG as well, I think, because of the hospital that was built within the last decade. And while that may be negative, and there are very negative things that come with that, there's also this sort of like... the strange thing about Montreal is the slow change factor that happens in Montreal. I don't know if you've ever read that Montreal Confidential by Al Palmer, but
I have read that.
Yeah,
it's a good book.
They talk about the 40s and 50s, right? And it's all the same things that people talk about now. You know, how a bus driver and a homeless person, and everybody's bilingual, and it's incredibly multicultural, and speakeasies and blind pigs, and how much fun everybody just wants to have all the time, you know?
The MUHC is a big change in the city. You know what? 2012 was also the era of the student protests, and when people really en masse in Montreal came out and banged pots and on the balcony. It was a real time of a social movement that ended up making a difference, changing policy. Was that a moment in the last 10 years that spoke to you?
Oh, of course. I remember taking my son to those protests, and it was like a politicizing moment for an entire generation of students as well. That was, that's one of the great things about Montreal as well, is that protest is sort of, at least for a portion of the population, it's a way of life. You know, it's something that we, when it's time to take to the streets, we do it. One of the changes that I'm very unhappy about was sort of a resurgence of the extreme right and neo-Nazis and all that kind of stuff, but it also gave me this strange hope because, two years ago I was organizing a concert called Montreal versus Racism, and it was just so easy to find artists that were willing to be engaged and that were willing to speak out against such a horrible movement. And it was actually very heartening to see how many people were willing to get organized and help out.
And then you run NDG Arts Week, and you have been running that for just over 10 years.
Well, I've passed it on now to a great team. And it's funny that too. It was a need here, I think, that there was. Sometimes in the summer, there's just nothing going on in certain areas of the city, and there's just not enough culture being brought to that area. And I just kind of felt like I needed to do something. At least I'm glad that what kicked in was not just the need to complain and to wallow in the fact that nothing was going on, but to actually create something, and how willing other people were to get involved. It was very nice.
Paul, we appreciate you getting up and talking to us. And you've got some new music out with your brother Christopher. Together, you're known as Skinny Bros.
you.
This is a new song from you. It's called Trouble. All the best, sir.
Thank you so much, and thank you for a great couple of years with you, man. It's been amazing.
Paul Carniello there from NBG.
Tell me who's gonna change the rules?